Welcome back to GAA Fan TV. It is the live watch-along stream for the meeting of Donegal and Armagh in the Senior Football Championship Round 2 qualifiers. A place at stake in the All-Ireland Senior Football Championship quarter-finals. Can they, who will be joining the likes of Cork, Clare, and also Mayo, who won their qualifiers leading up to this one. So, yeah, cheers anyone who's going to tune into the stream today. It is the live watch-along stream where we react and discuss the games live as they happen, as well as, discussing some of your comments, some of your reaction to the game as it happens as well. So, look, very excited for this game. I think it definitely should be the game of the weekend, maybe in terms of the quality that's on the field for both teams, in terms of the level that both two teams are at. You're talking about two Division 1 teams coming up against each other. A lot of top-class players out on the field. You think of Armagh and the quality of Rian O'Neill. Stephen Campbell looks very good, obviously, the last day against Tyrone. You've got the likes of Conor Turbo maybe coming off the bench. A lot of very good footballers all across the field. Rory Grugan's always been a player that I've been very impressed with. And then on the Donegal hand side, they have all sorts of quality as well in terms of Michael Murphy, and you also have, some big quality players. Connor Shane O'Donnell in there. McBrearty on his day can really light it up. Michael Langan's very good as well. So it should be an intriguing game. Maybe it might not. I do think it will be quite low scoring, as I said in the preview. I think it won't be maybe as entertaining as we like. I think we could see a similar game to that of the Donegal and Derry game. But what I would say is, I think the emphasis is probably going to be on Armagh to bring the game to Donegal. They're the side that's in form, obviously having beaten Tyrone last week. So it's going to be intriguing. I think I'd love to see Donegal play a bit more kick pass and a little bit more on the front foot rather than playing this sort of running type game. But look, listen, we'll obviously have to wait and see. Patrick says here, Armagh have a big canceller, but have to play well. I'm not sure what you mean there, my man. But it is a big game nonetheless. Make no mistake about that between the two teams. It's obviously a huge game for both counties, and it's going to be intriguing nonetheless. We'll get some team news up on the screen right there. So these are the two teams that have been named to take to the field. So you can see Ethan Rafferty in goal, James Morgan, Aidan Forker, Conor O'Neill make up the full back line for Armagh. You've got Aaron McKay, Greg McCabe, and Charlie O'Burns in the half-back line. Stephen Sheridan and Ben Creeley in the midfield. Rory Grugan, Stephen Campbell, Jamar Hall, Aidan Nugent, Rian O'Neill, and Jason Duffy. I have seen Andrew Murnan out there for Armagh, so it'll be intriguing to see who he's came in for. For Donegal, on the other hand side, you've got Sean Patton in goal, Keelan Ward, Brendan Cole, Stephen McManaman making up the full-back line, half-back line of Ryan McHugh, Owen Ben Gallagher, and Oren McFadden. Ferry in midfield of Caleb McGonigal, Jason McGee, and then a half-forward line, Kieran Thompson, Niall O'Donnell, and Michael Langan, with a full forward line of McBrearty, Murphy, and Shane O'Donnell. So we'll see if there's been any changes to either side. I can definitely see Andrew Murnan out there, so we'll be curious to see what's going on there in terms of who he's come in for. And hopefully, look, it will be somewhat of a spectacle, and maybe it won't be as drab, I suppose, as what we've seen when Armagh and Donegal lined up the last day. I can see Andrew Murnan's come in for Jamar Hall, I think it is there. And for Donegal, Pater Mogan has come into the side, and Doherty has come in at cornerback there as well. So couple of late changes on either side, as you would expect. The Armagh fans have certainly made their way to Clonus. You can see them out there in full force. Let me know your predictions in the comments below for who's watching live. We'll get a score prediction up on the screen from myself here, maybe in a brief moment. I am going to back Armagh narrowly. I think Donegal just haven't quite. They're a strange team. I think they've clearly got a lot of quality and have some very, very good players. But I do think they're beatable. And they seem to always give teams a chance. They rarely put teams away. And if Armagh are at the races and Armagh are at it, I think they will do enough to come through, in my opinion. So, I'm going to go with a 2-point victory for Armagh. I think I'm going to go with a scoreline like this: 113 to 111. I think that's a fair reflection on how I think the game will go. But feel free to disagree and let me know your thoughts in the comments live or after the stream. I think it will be low scoring. I think it will be cagey. It usually is when two Ulster sides go face to face, and usually these two have been, quite close. Obviously, a few years ago they weren't. But what you would say though is that Donegal have been the informed team when these two sides have met each other. I mean, they've been the ones who've usually come out on top. I mean, Donegal, won every championship meeting with Armagh going back as far as 2010. 2010 obviously being the last time Armagh beat Donegal in the championship. So big result, no mistake about that for a big game for Armagh to get into those quarterfinals. When you look at some of the teams that are in those quarterfinals, Clare are in there, Cork are in there. If Armagh can get themselves on that side of the draw that avoids Kerry, Dublin, I mean, that's sort of the big talking point really, is if you can get yourself on that side of the draw, you're probably going to avoid Dublin and Kerry, either one of them two, until a potential All-Ireland final. And, Armagh won't fear Galway. They won't fear Derry either. So I think it's huge for either one of these two. I mean, whoever comes out on top here with a bit of luck in the draw tomorrow potentially could go on a run to an All-Ireland final. It's not inconceivable, and that's why it's going to be a huge game. Make no mistake about that. Patrick says, when was the last time Armagh was in the last 8? I think it might have been 2017. I think it was. I remember they beat Kildare in the qualifier. So 2017 would be the last time Armagh were in the quarterfinals, and they played Tyrone that day and were beaten quite comprehensively in the quarterfinals. So we'll obviously have to wait and see there. But yeah, certainly Armagh fans out in full voice, just looking at the pictures here on the TV. Definitely a lot of Armagh fans have made the trip to Clonus, so great to see. Eamon Mack says, Donegal fan here. If this was a quarter-final, after winning Ulster, we would win well. We never play well from the back door. Better team, but we will lose. Yeah, I mean, look, I would say still have some confidence in your county, though. I mean, Donegal are the side who've beaten Armagh consistently in the last 4 to 5 years. Donegal have sort of had Armagh's number. No matter what Armagh have brought to the table, Donegal have found an answer. Armagh are certainly going in to this one as the team who will be, considered the favourites, obviously, given the fact that they beat Tyrone quite comprehensively. And Donegal have sort of been, in big games in the last 4 or 5 years, Donegal have let themselves down. So, this is a big game. It's a crunch game. It's a knockout game. So we'll obviously have to wait and see, but I think it will be very, very close. Shane says here, do you think there will be goals? I think there will be. I think there'll be a goal from either side. I think maybe more so towards the end of the game. There might be a team that maybe needs a goal and ends up getting one. Maybe we get an early goal and that opens it up a bit like Derry Donegal. So we'll obviously have to wait and see there, but just getting ready here, both sides getting ready to do the national anthems, all the rest. And yeah, I'm excited for this one, definitely, because this is definitely, I think, in most people's eyes, the sort of main event or the main game people have been excited for coming into this one. And to be fair, the qualifiers so far haven't, Mayo Kildare was fairly brutal yesterday in terms of quality, but at least it was competitive and it was, you had a game for a full 70 minutes. Same with Cork Limerick, same with Clare Roscommon. So, it's been good to see that at least we are having a very competitive championship so far. Anyways, I do think that's a big positive because, there certainly has been times in the past when you've seen these qualifiers been very lopsided, one-sided, and usually, the provincial runners-up will come through. But interesting, if Donegal do lose, that will be all provincial finalists beaten in the final round, of the qualifiers. And that will be quite fascinating, to be fair. I think the only time that's happened is 2010. So that'd be interesting if that does happen. Eamon says, do you think Declan Bonner is in charge next year? Unless a highly unlikely Sam, I feel he's underachieved in his 5 years and will need a change. Yeah, I think so. I think if they do get beaten here, or even if they got beaten in a quarter final, I think it probably would be time for a change. Realistically, it was a difficult time period when he took over because there was a little bit of transition, obviously, from the Jim McGuinness sort of Rory Gallagher. Rory Gallagher couldn't really get much out of that Donegal side, and that shows a lot, really, considering how good of a coach he is. So he struggled quite a bit. Definitely a bit of transition, and he's had to bring through some new lads. But other than a couple of Ulster titles, Donegal haven't quite kicked on. No All-Ireland semi-final appearance in that time, and I think that will be a big disappointment. And when you've seen your big rivals in Tyrone with an All-Ireland, I think a lot of Donegal fans would feel that could have been them. They were beating Tyrone, year in, year out there for a couple of years. So, I think there probably would be a change. Who comes in? That'd be the big question, wouldn't it? Would Rashford fancy it? I'd imagine he'd probably be the favourite, given the fact that he's obviously the right-hand man to Declan Bonner, brought Mayo very close to an All-Ireland. Or would Rashford fancy a crack at another job? Who knows? We'll obviously have to wait and see. Don't think Jimmy McGuinness comes back. And I'd be surprised I don't really know who else is an option there, to be fair. So yeah, Rory says, how are you? I'm doing well, my man. Hope all is well with yourself. We're just thrown in here. Armagh win the throw in very early and go very direct, and an early goal chance, and we have a goal straight away. Goodness me, what a finish that is from Rory Grugan. And Armagh, within the first 10 seconds, the crowd go absolutely mental, and that is a wonderfully taken finish. I think it was Rory Grugan. It was Rian O'Neill who won the throw in, kicks direct. Donegal are all over the place. It's route one, but it works perfectly. And Rory Grugan blasts it into the back of the net. I didn't even have a chance to put the scoreboard on. Someone was asking, would there be goals? Well, there you go. There is the answer, because just, what was that, 10 seconds on the clock? And Armagh with the early finish. A wonderful finish from Grugan. Donegal looking to respond, and they don't. That's a poor kick there from Michael Langan, and Donegal put under massive amounts of pressure here early on. Given the fact they were beaten by Derry, they needed a quick start, and they've got the complete opposite. They win Rafferty's kick out, though, do they? They do. Very very good start to this game. Very entertaining. Murphy's on the ball. Donegal now go down the other end. Maybe they might be in a chance for a goal, and it's a big save from Ethan Rafferty. This is what you love to see. Explosive right from the get-go. Doherty, the late substitute there with a point. So Donegal getting off the mark. What a cracking game we have here quite early on. Very, very entertaining stuff, it must be said. Might have been the fastest ever goal in the history of GAA. Might be. It just might be. It was Dean Rock's goal in the All-Ireland final against Mayo, maybe. I'm not sure. That might be the quickest goal ever. 10 seconds. Be interesting to know. I'm sure we'll see in the we'll see on Twitter anyway. I'm sure someone will be able to find that out for us. But Donegal very nearly responding with a goal there as well, to be fair to them. It was a good good score by Rafferty. Donegal, to be fair to them, have done well. They've turned over the ball twice since in 2 Armagh restarts. So Donegal won't be too concerned, and obviously still a long way to go yet in this game. For those who are watching, if you could smash the like button, that'd be much appreciated. And subscribe if you haven't already. Be absolutely fantastic. Rian O'Neill on possession. Poor play there from Donegal, who lose the ball. And they're venturing forward. They're going to kick their first point of the game. They're not. It was Grugan. Drop short into Patton. Dean Rock's goal was 15 seconds. It just might be the quickest goal then. It just might be. Yeah, very, very explosive start here from both sides. You know, I thought it would be cagey in the opening sort of 10 minutes. It hasn't been that at all. Donegal are going very direct as well, to be fair to them, and they've kicked a wonderful score there. And Donegal with Ryan McHugh. So Donegal, to be fair to them, have responded quite well. You know, like when you conceded that early goal, you might have been a bit worried for them, but lovely response. And Armagh just taking this thing out of the game now, just looking to keep possession. They obviously must have been targeting that from the from the throw in. You know, Rian O'Neill wins it, kicks direct straight away. It was obviously something they must have targeted. Lovely ball there into Rian O'Neill. Is he going to get his first point? That dropped short as well. Looks like it might have gone for a 45. I think it has. So Armagh will have the chance here. It came off Sean Patton and ended up going wide. Could have went anywhere, to be fair. Yeah, Patton was looking to catch it, but ends up dropping it out over the end line. So a chance here for Armagh. You'd imagine Rian O'Neill will be stepping over this one. A chance for Armagh to get their first point of the game and go 2 to the good over Donegal. Much needed score for Armagh after that. You know, obviously they got the early goal, but they've conceded the last 2, so they'll want to put their foot down on the game. O'Neill stepping up. He's hit it interestingly, and he's hit it wide. So Donegal, Armagh, we should say, remain without a score since that goal. They'll just be a little bit disappointed how they've responded since Donegal's 2 points, and they haven't really kicked on since the early goal. Donegal might be in here with McBurty, who looks up for it. There was a pull there, so McBurty will have a chance here to level it. And you would fancy Michael Murphy certainly to go ahead and tap this one over. And Murphy does tap it over, so that's we're all square. It's a good response from Donegal after conceding that early goal. Feels like this game is almost like a reversal of Armagh Tyrone so far, with obviously Tyrone who got the early goal in that one, and then obviously Armagh kicked on. Armagh are definitely struggling here from the kick out, it must be said. They've turned them over again, and Murphy, a long way out. Has he nailed that one? He has. That's a wonderful score from Michael Murphy. And Donegal, who didn't start this game well with that early goal, have responded brilliantly. They've hit 4 without reply. They're a point in front, and Armagh need to get a grip of this game because they've really struggled from the kick out. And it'll be interesting to see what happens now from this one. Rafferty, who was praised, wasn't he, for his performance in the last game, doesn't have many options to go by, and Donegal win it again. And here they come on the attack. Armagh are really struggling from that kick out. Donegal look better, is what Patrick says. So far, they have been the better side. How does Donegal always have Tyrone's number every year nearly, says Rory. Yeah, I mean, they didn't get beat, obviously, by Tyrone last year, but you know, they have just had the better of Tyrone a lot of the times in the league and championship as well. Like, I think they've won 6 out of the last 7 games or something like that. So Donegal, for whatever reason, you know, have just stepped up to the occasion when they've played Tyrone. But and here goes McBurty. Donegal look really up for this one, and they've kicked Another brilliant score from McBrearty. Donegal look really at the races here. And for Armagh, it's a little bit worrying this because, if they don't get a grip of this game quickly, it could get away from them. McGeeney, I'm sure, will be a little bit concerned watching on the touchline because Armagh need to win this kick out, and they do. It's a lovely catch there from Andrew Murnan. Or from Jason Duffy, I should say. Armagh now on the attack. They need a score. They haven't scored since that opening goal. So they've gone 8 minutes here without a score. Rian O'Neill kicks directly inside. That ball is definitely on. There might be a chance for another goal there if he worked it inside. He didn't. Great block. And Donegal now come away with it. Brendan McCall there in possession. Donegal working it patiently here, to be fair. They've looked really, really up for this, to be fair. Pater Mogan now in possession. If Donegal can get the next one, you just start to be worried a bit for Armagh, especially after, getting that early goal. They're moving the ball quickly. And another foul there. So another chance here for Donegal. It's going to be a really straightforward one here from Michael Murphy. And you'd have to say that Armagh just haven't really been at the races at all in this one. They got that early goal. You were expecting them to kick on. They just haven't. And they're struggling. And you'd expect Donegal to open up a 3-point lead here now. Murphy, who's kicked 2 points already, one from play, one from a free. Is he going to make it a 3-point game? He is. Lovely score there from Murphy. So Donegal, really, really on top here in Armagh. Armagh are struggling. Worrying times. Worrying times for Armagh after that start, yeah. It certainly has. They're struggling, but they've won 2 kickouts in a row now, which will definitely help them. As you can see there, 10 minutes without. I mean, they've basically gone the entire game without a score, to be honest, because obviously they got that goal quite early on, but they haven't really kicked on after that. Have you noticed Donegal don't play good when Murphy is not on? Yeah, they do struggle, certainly when he isn't in the field. They probably are quite over reliant on him a lot of the time. But when you've got a player like that in your county, you have to make full advantage of it. And Donegal, to be fair, in this game have done exactly that. Armagh definitely need a score here. They're being patient on the ball. Rory Grugan venturing forward into Stephen Campbell. Is that a foul? I think it is. Bit of a jersey tug there. Or is there? There didn't really look much in that, to be fair. Or has the ref called over carrying? I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but been disappointed in Armagh, to be honest, after the opening start. It is going to be a free in. Is it kicked over the bar? It is from Rory Grugan. So Armagh get their first point of the game. Do you know what? They can count themselves quite lucky they got that goal early on, because you could have been talking about Donegal being 5 in front here. Donegal have just done very well at those breaking balls. They kick directly there into Paddy McBrearty, who should put that one over. He doesn't. It's dropped short. Caught well by Ethan Rafferty. Can Armagh make something of it now on the counter-attack? Just in possession of the ball, keeping dictating the play a little bit here. Aaron McCoy on the ball. And Armagh certainly going to slow the game down, as you would expect. They've got Stephen Campbell dropping deep on the ball. They go for that long ball again, which worked for the first goal, and It's causing a couple of problems again. Donegal look like they might have got away with it this time, though. And they do come away with possession. And it's fairly fierce, plenty of challenges, plenty of high tackles flying in there. Few players getting to know each other. It's fierce. It usually is when Armagh and Donegal play each other. And yeah. So yeah, Armagh Donegal 2 points to the good here so far. And Armagh, yeah, like after that early goal, they looked fairly decent. Or you would have thought they would have kicked on and you would have thought they would have dominated, but hasn't quite been that way. Donegal's response has been really, really good, to be fair. But still only 2 points in it, so plenty of time still for Armagh to put down their marker in this game. Donegal have been moving the ball very quickly and have really looked up for this one, to be fair. They look really at the races, which is something they haven't really looked so far in the championship, it must be said. They kick into Murphy. It doesn't really come to anything, though. They have been kicking a lot more direct into Murphy. They've been using the kick pass a lot more. But Armagh come away with it. Stephen Campbell, who's certainly been dropping a lot deeper on the ball here. Can they work a score there? It's a lovely bit of play. But it drops very wide of the target there from Aidan Nugent. See Michael Murphy leaping up there to try catch the ball or to try get something on it. Nothing in the end coming from it. Great interception from Armagh, but the ref has given a free there, has he? I think he has. That's an interesting one. Donegal being patient here on the ball now. There's no immediate rush, I suppose, from them, but they are moving the ball with pace, to be fair. It's Ryan McHugh venturing forward, but he runs into trouble, and Armagh will get the chance to move down the other end. Armagh have just got a couple of turnovers now in the last couple of minutes, so they'll be happy with that, to be fair. They look like they've settled down a little bit after Donegal's sort of burst of 6 without reply. Lovely bit of play here from Stephen Campbell. Doesn't really run into anything. Runs into Donegal defenders, though. Now they've turned it over. No one without a score now for the last couple of minutes. Donegal breaking down the other end with pace, and Armagh looking a little bit vulnerable here on the counter-attack. Space for McBrearty to kick a point. You'd expect him to slot it over, and he does. Armagh have just looked a little bit vulnerable at times in this game. They've committed a couple of men forward. They've been caught out on the counter-attack, and Donegal, you'd have to say, in the balance of play after 16 minutes, have been by far the better team. Donegal or Armagh just not at the races, really. Like, they haven't kicked a point from play so far. When they've got the ball, they're trying to be direct. They're trying to make things happen. Rian O'Neill in plenty of space here. You'd expect him to slot this one over the bar, and he does. That's a good point from Rian O'Neill. Armagh respond there with a big score from Mr. O'Neill, who has been quite quiet in the pardon the pun there, but he has been a little bit quiet in the last couple of games, to be fair to him. Hasn't quite, set the world alight like he has in at the start of the league. But that's a big score from him. Brings it back to a 2-score game. So, yeah. J-Mac podcast. Great stream. Cheers, my man. Hope the head is okay. Hope you're recovering all right. Sir Klopp says minor semi-finals. Derry, Galway, Mayo, Kerry. Yeah. Was watching some of the Dublin game earlier. Disappointing to see them get beat by Galway. Probably does show that the production line isn't quite there for the Dubs at the minute. Although they did come through Leinster this year, so that is a positive. They did win the Leinster Championship, but they'll be disappointed to have lost that quarter final. Donegal now venturing forward here with McHugh, who's had a lot of the ball, to be fair to him so far. Armagh a little bit more organised. They've definitely looked on it so far, Donegal. You'd have to say that. They've looked very at the races. Is that going to be a score? That's a wonderful score if it's gone over the bar. Brilliant stuff there. Absolutely wonderful score from Shane O'Donnell. That's 2 points he's kicked now in this game. He's looked really at it. Donegal, to be fair to them, like in the Derry game, I felt like they weren't really taking much opportunities on. They certainly are in this game. Like, let's not forget they scored 114 after extra time against Derry. They've kicked 8 points here in under 20 minutes. So they've really been at it here so far. And Armagh look a little shell shocked, to be fair to them. And if Armagh can keep at it here, or if Donegal can keep at it, I mean, they might be able to build up a bit of lead before half time. Looking at this game, it sort of reminds me a little bit of that 2020 meeting between Armagh and Donegal a few years ago when they just blew Armagh away. They won that game very comfortably. It's been a bit like that so far. So big pressure on Armagh and McGeeney here so far. I'll need to put a foothold in this game because just 1 point from play after 20 minutes isn't really good enough. I know they got that early goal, but they haven't really kicked on since then, to be fair to them. O'Neill there kicking out wide into Stephen Campbell. Here come Armagh on the attack. They need a score here. Stephen Campbell hasn't caught that one. He hasn't caught that one. It goes wide of the target. And Armagh just a little bit wasteful in front of goal. Donegal have been a bit more clinical in front of goal, to be fair to them. And they win the kick out. Here's Langan in possession. Pater Morgan into McBrearty, who's been really in possession here so far, you'd have to say. Lovely bit of play here from Armagh venturing forward. Armagh just standing off Donegal, giving them so much time to score. It's really been lackadaisy stuff from Armagh, and that's another score there from Donegal. This time it's Kieran Thompson who's put that one away. So Donegal have looked very, very good here early on. They now lead by 4 points, and I have to be honest, I did not see this one coming. Donegal have looked really at the races here. And they win the kick out again. Jason McGee catches it well. Donegal really at it. McBrearty again into Shane O'Donnell. Armagh look a little bit leggy here as well. I've gone for another score. Have they bent that one in as well? That's wide. I was going to say that would have been unbelievable if I had it gone over. I mean, Donegal are playing some of the best stuff we've seen from them here in the opening 20 minutes in years, really. They played a little bit like this in 2020, but it's been a while since we've seen them play like this. All right, this is a big kick out now for Armagh. They need to win possession here. Rafferty goes long. They win it this time. They need a score here, Armagh, just to stay in this game because it's getting away from them. Venturing forward. Here's O'Neill. He backs himself for the score. And he's got it. That's a lovely score there from Rian O'Neill. Big kick out there, or big score there from Armagh. They needed a response. And they get one. Bring it back to a 3-point game. 1-3 to 9 points. Sir Klopp says more Donegal or Armagh support. Looking at the pictures, definitely looks like more Armagh, to be fair. We've seen, crowd or a lot of a lot of cameras on the Armagh fans at different times in the game. So Does look like more Armagh fans there than Donegal fans at this moment in time, anyway, from what I've seen. But you'd have to say that Donegal have been the better side. But Armagh do win Donegal's kick out there, so if they can bring it back to a 2-score game, be crucial. And what you would say is it's unlikely Donegal play as good as this for the full 70. I could be wrong, but we'll obviously have to wait and see. Nugent on the ball, plays it into Stephen Campbell. Donegal very touch-tight to their men there at the minute. We've seen Ethan Rafferty venturing forward as he usually does. Is he going to kick for a point? He's going to go for it. He doesn't look like he's caught it, and it's going to balloon. But the ref has called it back for a foul, so Armagh will have a chance here to make it a 2-point game. Yeah, Rafferty definitely impeded there by, was it Jason McGee? I think it was Caleb McGonigal, actually, to be fair. So a yellow card there for Mr. McGonigal. Rory says, surprise Clonus isn't full. Might be the cost of petrol. I mean, it's not fully packed. It's definitely not as packed as it was when Donegal and Derry met each other, but it does look fairly full, to be fair. It looks 3/4 Armagh, to be fair, in terms of support there. Be curious to know why the Donegal supporters haven't made the trip up. Rafferty still down there at the moment as Rian O'Neill kicks this one. Bit of a hold-up play there at the minute. 6-point game. Or 3-point game, I should say. Rafferty just down getting a bit of treatment there, walking back towards the field of play. Rian O'Neill, you'd expect him obviously to slot this one over the bar and make it a 2-point game, and he does. So Armagh still very much in this. You know, they've struggled really at large parts in this game. Donegal have played well, but they're still not out of it. And if they can win Patton's kick out here, that would be crucial. And they do. Lovely catch. They look to offload it. They do still have possession. Sort of interesting. Donegal have done very well on Armagh's kickouts, and Armagh have done very well on Donegal's kickouts. So all of a sudden now it's Armagh who are just getting a bit of momentum, and Stephen Campbell, who's seen so much of the ball so far for this Armagh side, on the ball again, plays it back. They venture forward. Campbell passes a little bit poor, a little bit of good defending there by Donegal. Armagh still have possession here with Jason Duffy. He manages to wiggle himself out. Are they going to back themselves here for the point? It's dropping short, but it's gone over the bar. It's a lovely score there. And Armagh bring it down to a 1-score game. It's a lovely point there by Charlie Oakburns. And Armagh very much back in the contest. They won the last kick out, and they've brought it down now to a 1-score game. And Donegal going short, but losing possession. That's very sloppy there from Donegal at the back. Jason Duffy's a huge chance. It's surely going to be a goal. Surely, unbelievably, it doesn't go on the back of the net. It goes out for a 45. A block on the line there from Brendan McCall, I think it was. Caelan Ward, as a matter of fact. All sorts of chaos from the Donegal kick out. I mean, how on earth has Stephen Campbell not scored there? I mean, it's a brilliant block, don't get me wrong, from Caelan Ward, but he kind of just hits it straight at him. I don't know how on earth that hasn't gone in the back of the net. And that is a huge... I mean, he could have carried the ball. He'd so much time. And if Rian O'Neill misses this and Armagh get nothing out of it, they will be scratching their heads. And O'Neill has put it over the bar, so Armagh do draw a level, but that is a huge opportunity missed. And interesting, you know, Armagh were struggling for large parts, but now they've started to come out on top, and it's almost like we've seen a bit of a role reversal. Again, Donegal get caught from the short kick out, second time in a row. Surely they're going to score this time. It's in the back of the net. But I don't know what's happened. Has the referee... Surely it's either a goal or a penalty here. Absolutely chaotic. Donegal get caught twice on the short kick out and get overturned. And Armagh look like they haven't capitalised out on it again. This is a bit of a mental game so far. I think he's going to give a penalty, is he? I mean, he's going to give a card here. It's surely a penalty. A black card for the goalkeeper, Sean Patton. So the referee is going to give the penalty. You think he'd just give the advantage and give the goal, but he's going to give the penalty. So Donegal are going to have to make a substitute, and they're going to have to bring on another goalkeeper. I mean, to be fair, it wasn't Patton's fault from those kickouts. Donegal were just very slow. I mean, he was kicking out to, you know, the likes of Brendan McCole and Caelan Ward, and they were just getting caught. So big moment in this game here. Rian O'Neill standing over the penalty. If he puts this away, Armagh go 3 points to the good. And kind of incredible. I mean, Donegal looked like they were cruising at one point, and I think Armagh have hit 3 without reply. This would be 1-3 out without reply now. Donegal making the substitute. Be interesting to see which goalkeeper they bring on. Big moment for him. I'm not too sure who their goalkeeper is. Is it Lynch? And, you know, to be without Sean Patton's, Sean Patton's influence of those kickouts is crucial. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Big moment for Rian O'Neill. They have a Donegal player in the goal here at the minute. Lynch isn't coming on, I don't think. This is mental. So they've put Caelan McGonigal in goal. He nearly got to it, but O'Neill does score 2-6 to 9 points. It'll be interesting to see what happens here if they keep McGonigal in goal. He nearly got to go. I mean, he came way out over his line. Miles out of his line there, to be fair. But Rian O'Neill slots it into the back of the net. An extraordinary moment from, in this game, Lynch coming on the field of play now. And it'll be interesting to see who they substitute. But big 5 minutes in this game now because, you know, does Lynch have the same influence from the kickouts of Sean Patton? Is he going to go short again? You know, Armagh have had a lot of joy from Donegal's kickouts all of a sudden. And Donegal, who looked on top, have started to struggle. They do win this kickout, though. And that's a big moment. Good catch from Michael Langan. Donegal responded very well when Armagh got that opening goal of the game. And it'll be interesting to see if they can respond in a similar fashion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments live on the game so far. If you could hit the like button and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, plenty of streams and similar content to this one as well. So be much appreciated if you could do that. Murphy, the man, standing over the ball here. They've worked it. The referee moved it further up the pitch, and Murphy has kicked that miles wide. I mean, you can tell, really. I mean, the crowd is definitely, I'd say, 3/4 Armagh. McBrearty's the man they've took off, by the way, from the black card. Patton and McBrearty definitely going at each other. They're not too happy with each other by the looks of things there. McBrearty not too happy with Sean Patton. Interesting that he's took McBrearty off. He's obviously going to come back on in about 10 minutes' time. Well, that is just such a big turning point in the game, really, because Donegal were looking on top. Donegal were looking like the better side, and you know, some disastrous work really at the back from Donegal from that kick out. I mean, to be fair, it wasn't really Patton's fault. I mean, maybe he could have went longer. And Armagh have a lot of space here. They might be in for another goal. Jason Duffy is going to take the point and puts it over the bar. Armagh go 4 in front. And Donegal need to. It's their turn now to start to come alive. I mean, Donegal were 4 points up. Donegal were 9 points to 1-2 up, and all of a sudden, Armagh hit 1-5 without reply, and Donegal really need to get a hold of the game here at the minute, because Armagh are looking very good, and they do win this kick out, which is important. The kick out's definitely been of huge interest in this game so far, it must be said. And here now is Ryan McHugh venturing forward. A wonderful bit of possession. I mean, it looks like a home game for Armagh. I don't even know if any Donegal fans are in the stadium. Just looking at the crowd, it looks probably, I'd say 80 to 90% Armagh fans in the crowd there. Be a little bit disappointing from a Donegal perspective. They don't have more fans in the crowd there. But Armagh fans very much taking up the large parts, and Armagh have the tail between their legs here at the minute, and Donegal look a little bit in trouble. Can Armagh put up a 5-point lead, which would be the biggest lead in the game? That's a lovely kick there from Grugan, and Armagh 8 to 9 points in front. Donegal a little bit all over the place here at the minute, and Armagh looking very good. 5 to the good. Patrick says Armagh look more confident. They sure do. They sure do look more confident at the minute, it must be said. And they win the kick out again. Donegal are just all over the place here. Donegal have gone nearly 14 minutes there. 14 minutes without a score. And Armagh are going to kick another one now. It's gone short. That looked like it was going to be a 6-point game. 4 minutes of injury time. Donegal need the next point here to keep themselves in this game, because it's getting away from them. And that black card has really changed so much, because Donegal now don't have McBrearty on the field as well. Langan's gone for it. And he's put that one wide. Stays as a 5-point game. And Declan Bonner, he must be scratching his head, because his team were in the ascendancy, and 2 short kickouts. You think they'd learn after the first one. They didn't. Extraordinary, really. And Donegal now forced to concede the short kickout themselves now as well. They can't afford to press up on Armagh's kickouts, and that's just giving Armagh a foothold in the game, because Donegal were pressing up at the start of the game and were getting joy from it. They have turned the ball over there, but a poor play from Armagh moving forward. Donegal now in possession with Langan. Can they get a score here before the end of the half? That'll be crucial. Works it outside to Pat Morgan. What can he do? Be interesting to see if he can slot it over. Donegal just taking the sting out of the game here by the looks of it. Calm in possession. No immediate rush, it must be said, from them. Obviously they have the black card as well. You'd imagine, obviously, Sean Patton will come on at the start of the second half. So I think Donegal just looking to take the sting out of Armagh, while Armagh have the black card. But some wonderful tackling, and the ref gives a foul there. Wonderful intensity in the tackle there from the Armagh backs. Lovely. Rian O'Neill getting involved there as well. You had Ben Creeley making a challenge, but Donegal will have the chance. Be interesting to see if Murphy goes for this one, or whether they try work it inside. It looks like Murphy's going to go for it. Be a big kick for Donegal to bring it back to a 4-point game. They certainly need a point. They haven't scored for the last, 15 minutes or so now at this stage. A big moment now in the game. Donegal have a man down on the field of play here at the minute by the looks of things. You'd imagine Murphy will take his time over this one as well. Murphy standing over it. It looks like he's got this one. And he has. That's a big score there from Michael Murphy. And Donegal bring it down to a 4-point game. Just approaching the final minute of injury time. Donegal will probably only have, a minute of the start, about a minute of the start of the second half without Patton, and then you'd imagine Patton will come back on, and you'd imagine McBrearty will come back on as well. So to be fair to Donegal, they'll be happy that they've got through this period, because you would have probably nearly thought Armagh could have gone 6 or 7 in front. Stephen Campbell, he goes for it but puts it wide. And that should be the end of the first half. Is the ref he might add maybe just a little bit more time on after that small stoppage. I think Armagh will be happy in the end with how the game has gone. They got that early goal and it was looking a little bit worrying, and the referee calls halftime there. And I think Armagh will obviously be the happier of the two teams. I mean, they got that early goal from Rory Grugan, and obviously a wonderful finish. The quickest goal in Gaelic football, senior level, it might be. It very well could be. But Donegal after that really took the ascendancy. I mean, they hit 6-7 points without reply before Rory Grugan got on the score sheet. And in fact, actually after the goal, Donegal outscored Armagh 10 points to 2 for the next 22 minutes of the game. Donegal were in the ascendancy. They were dominant. 9 points to 2, actually, I should say. They were in the ascendancy. They were dominant, but 2 short kickouts from Patton. They got caught out on 2 occasions. They were probably lucky not to concede a goal the first time around. They obviously give away the penalty. Patton gets black-carded as well. Rian O'Neill puts away the penalty. And Armagh go in at half-time with a 4-point lead. Donegal will be happy to bring it from 5 down to 4, because you were thinking at one stage Armagh could have went 6 or 7 in front. So Donegal will be happy to have brought it down to a 4-point game. And still alive. Look, once, another minute in the sin bin for Patton, you'd imagine he comes back on then. You'd imagine McBrearty comes back on as well. So still in the ascendancy, or still very much in the game, Donegal. But Armagh will be very happy in the end how that first half has played out, because even though they got the early goal, I mean, there was a bit of a struggle. There was a bit of a struggle for a brief period of time there. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments live who are watching. If you could leave a like and subscribe as well, it'd be much appreciated. Armagh, 4 points to the good. Work certainly to do for Donegal, but I think, they got a lot of joy from that kick out. And you'd imagine when McBrearty and Patton come back on, they'll do the same in the second half. I think you'll see that Donegal, probably can't afford to go short too many times in the second half, because they've been caught out on numerous occasions, really, with that short kick out. So a lot of work to do for Donegal in the second half. 4 points down. We'll run through the scores in total. So Rian O'Neill with 1-4 so far. He's definitely stepped up to the mark for Armagh so far. Rory Grugan with 1-2. He's been fantastic. Jason Duffy with a point as well. And Charlie O'Burns on the score sheet. I think Stephen Campbell's been excellent for Armagh as well. I mean, he's held possession on numerous occasions, linking the play up brilliantly, dropping deep, tracking back. He's been very impressive, I've felt. Donegal, Murphy with 4 points so far, one of which from play. Shane O'Donnell with 2 points. McBrearty, Thompson, McHugh, and Doherty on the score sheet for Donegal as well. So, Armagh, as it stands, as long as they can control the game, manage the game, and take advantage of, what has been some poor defending from Donegal so far, it must be said. They will be in the All-Ireland quarter-finals. Sir Klopp says Donegal will need a goal. It's looking that way at the minute. It is looking that way at the minute. Patrick says Armagh should have 3 goals. I mean, well, look, it was obviously a brilliant block on the line from Caelan Ward. So, Armagh could have been out of sight going into half-time. They really could have. They could have been 7 or 8 in front, and it would have been very, very tough for Donegal to turn it around from there, it must be said. But, still another half a field to play. We could get extra time. Still a long, long way to go in this one. But no questions about the black card as well. I mean, a poor challenge from Sean Patton. And even if it wasn't a black card, it would have been a goal anyway. I mean, the ball ended up in the back of the net. So no question about that. But yeah, just some poor play. I mean, it'd be interesting to see who Sean Patton kicked it into for those short kickouts, because, I feel like Donegal should have released the ball a lot sooner from those short kickouts. They just dilly-dallying around at the back, leaving themselves far too exposed. We'll see them now on the replay. I mean, kicking into, I'm not too sure who it is there. It looked like it was Caelan Ward. Or Brendan McCole, actually, that he kicked into there. Just caught in no man's land, really, Brendan McCole. And, I mean, he was swarmed very, very quickly. To be fair, I don't think that short kick out was on. I don't think Patton should have kicked that one, to be fair. No question about it being a black card. And Rian O'Neill stepping up, no bother whatsoever against Caelan McGonigal in goal. Interesting, McGonigal not even putting on a pair of gloves for the penalty as well. Just trying to save it barehanded. But a lot of work for Donegal to do so far. But what I would say is that, it hasn't been too cagey. It's been a very entertaining game. Both sides running at each other, going at it blow to blow. It certainly hasn't been as cagey as the Ulster final. And, Donegal only kicked 114 in that entire game, in 90 minutes in total, 70 minutes plus extra time. So 90 plus when you factor in all the injury time as well. They only kicked 114. They've kicked 10 in the first half. So Donegal have done fairly well in front of goal. They've done fairly well with their shooting and in terms of accuracy. But the big disappointment for them has just been, that sort of poor play at the back. And it came at a time as well when Donegal were looking very, very comfortable. So a lot of work for them to do going into the second half. But for those who are watching, let me know your predictions for the draw tomorrow as well, and for any fans of the 8 counties or any Armagh Donegal fans as well, let me know who you would like to play in those quarterfinals. As a Dublin man, I would like to play the winner of this game. I would like to play either Armagh or Donegal in the quarterfinals. Actually, my ideal draw would be Mayo. I would love for Dublin to get Mayo in the quarterfinals. I think it's a good time to get Mayo. I think it would be a good time to play them. Will O'Donoghue be back by then? I'm not sure. Maybe he might make a cameo from the bench. I'm not exactly sure what the status of his injury is. So it might be a good time to play Mayo. But, although Clare and Cork would be the 2 easiest draw on paper, I don't think it will do Dublin or even Kerry any favours to get either of them 2 in the quarterfinals, to be perfectly honest, because you would see Dublin and Kerry probably come through them quite comfortably, and they're probably not going to learn that much, to be perfectly honest. And I think, whoever out of Dublin and Kerry gets a test in the quarterfinals will be going into that semi-final, in a much better position. And that's not to say that, Mayo could beat Dublin. It's very likely. Armagh could maybe turn over Kerry. It's not a given, but I think if either one of those 2 came through those quarterfinals, they'd be in good stead going into a semi-finals. But yeah, O'Donoghue is expected to be back for the quarterfinals. That'll be huge. That'll be huge. Would you not like to repeat 2014? I certainly wouldn't. I certainly wouldn't want to see 2014 again. I think Dublin beat Donegal even when they were terrible in the league. So, I'd fancy Dublin against Donegal, to be honest. Donegal's championship record, they've beaten Dublin twice, once in the 90s, once in 2014. Other than that, not too much. So I'd be confident enough. Sir Klopp says Clare could be Derry Galway. I mean, I'd fancy either Derry or Galway to come through, but it'd be a contest. It would be a contest, and it wouldn't be inconceivable, to be honest. Derry haven't played at Croke Park all too often. They haven't played at Croke Park since 2019. So, and that was in a Division 4 final. I think it would be nice to see Clare play Derry, though, because it would be a very intriguing game. And it'd be interesting to see, because we've seen Clare sort of play quite defensive against Roscommon. It'd be interesting to see what way both sides play. Could Derry end up playing on the front foot a bit more? So it could be very cagey. It could be very cagey, is what you could say there. Joseph says, who's going to win the All-Ireland hurling title in your opinion? I would have to say Limerick at this moment in time. Clare are looking very good, to be fair. But you would have to fancy Limerick at this moment in time. They've every challenge and obstacle that's been put in front of them in the last, since 2019, every challenge that they've faced in the championship, they've overcome, they've just been different gravy since 2019. But we'll obviously have to wait and see there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'll be curious to know when that quarter-final draw is. We will take it. It's going to be tomorrow morning on probably, RTE or something like that. And we'll have a look here. Quarter-final draw will take place on RTE Radio 1 just after 8:30 a.m. as a part of Morning Ireland. So there you go. RTE Radio 1. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Draw tomorrow morning on RTE Radio. Probably after the news at 8:35. Yeah, probably be a few minutes after the news. So it's going to be, I'll definitely tune in and listen in. I'll be curious to see who gets who. I think as a fan, I mean, the ideal draw, as I said, I want to see Dublin play Mayo, just because Dublin Mayo games are always big games. They tend to do quite well on the YouTube channel here as well when they play each other. So I would certainly love to see that. And it'd just be a great spectacle. It'd be great to see. I may even go to the game as well, potentially. But yeah, I'd love to see Dublin Mayo. I think maybe Derry Clare. I'd like to see that. Galway Armagh would be an intriguing one. And then let Kerry get Kerry can't play Cork, actually, can't they not? So Cork Galway maybe. So yeah, some interesting ones. Opinions on Tipperary hurling, says Joseph. Yeah, I mean it's not been a great year for the Tip hurlers, has it? But plenty of talent in the county. I'm sure they'll bounce back next year. Rory says, do you think we will win it back this year? We look very angry because of the league. Presume you're talking about Dublin there. Yeah, I don't know. I still have my reservations about Dublin, to be perfectly honest, just because, there is a lot of defensive issues. I think Kildare and Meath have been proven to be quite poor this year. Kildare, should have beaten Mayo, to be honest. Yesterday, they were very poor in front of goal. Quality was there. They were better defensively, but they were poor going forward. and they have good players, clearly, Kildare. But I think, when you look at it, Dublin won't have played any of the quarterfinal teams. So I think there is still a couple of worries defensively from Dublin. So I wouldn't be convinced just yet. But I think they'll be there or thereabouts. Sir Klopp says if Mayo and the winner of this get drawn onto the Dubs Kerry side, that has to be the most heavy-sided half of the draw in a long time. Galway, Derry, Clare, Cork. Yeah, I mean it's not impossible. It's not impossible, but I'd love to see it personally because that would mean either one of Galway, Derry, Cork, or Clare would make an All-Ireland final. And Cork is the most recent of them four to make an All-Ireland in 2010. Clare have never made an All-Ireland. Derry have obviously, played in what they won in '93, and Galway have played in a fair few, to be fair. But it'd be good to see one of those four in an All-Ireland final. But what you would say is whoever comes through the semi-final side of the draw will just be heavy favourites going into the final, probably. If Galway make an All-Ireland final, people might back them, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Kieran says the two Canavans should be starting in the forward line for Tyrone next year. Yeah, they certainly should be. I was surprised to see Rory Canavan didn't come off the bench last year. Greatest match you ever seen, hurling or football? 2013 Dublin Kerry football, and then I would say hurling, probably Limerick Cork 2018. I'd say, that was an extraordinary game. I'm trying to think. I was at the Dublin Kerry game in 2013. I'm trying to think of the best hurling game I've been to. I haven't been to too many hurling games down the years. Dublin games, maybe when Dublin won the Leinster title 2013, maybe. Best I've seen, Mayo versus Dublin 06. Best I've been to, Kerry versus Mayo, drawn game 2014. That was the one in Limerick, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, that was a cracking game. The semi-final 06 was definitely quite the spectacle as well, wasn't it? But both teams are coming out here now for the start of the second half. McBrearty doing his warm-ups on the sideline. Looks like he's going to be coming on at the start of the second half. The Armagh Ultras in full force, as I said, just from watching. I don't even know if any Donegal fans are in the stadium, and that's not, I'm not joking there. Like, I really haven't seen any Donegal fans at all, to be honest. It just looks like it's 90% Armagh. Doesn't really look like there's much Donegal fans at all there, which would disappoint you from a Donegal perspective. They're usually quite a heavily supported county, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Armagh, it'd be interesting to see what happens from the kick out. Are they going to go route one again like they did? Donegal trying to cut off Rian O'Neill. It looks like he's going to kick a short. So the route one ball that was on right at the start of the first half isn't on this time around. And Armagh in possession here early on. Donegal should be getting Patton back on the field in a couple of moments. I think McBrearty's already back out there by the looks of things. Don't think McBrearty's back on the field just yet, but you would expect him to come back on. He was doing his warm-ups on the touchline there. And here goes Ethan Rafferty, playing as a midfielder almost at times. Can Armagh go 5 in front? Is that going to creep over? It looks like it is. Over the bar from Charlie O'Burns again. That's his second score of the game. He's having quite the game, the Armagh halfback. And Armagh go 5 in front. think important for Armagh just to take initiative of that black card, and Sean Patton should be ready to come back on. I think he is coming back on now. So Patrick McBrearty coming on for Donegal. Michael Lynch goes off, and on comes Sean Patton. So Armagh back up to full strength. Sean Patton and McBrearty certainly weren't getting along with each other there on the sideline. They were certainly having a fair argument amongst each other. Sean Patton's kick out, he goes long and it doesn't work. Stephen Campbell wins it. He's won a lot of kick outs so far for Armagh. Sir Klopp says booing the place kicker is a disgrace despite not liking Donegal's style of football. I hope Michael Murphy scores a goal to send them to the quarter-final as a middle finger to the Armagh Ultras. Yeah, well, I suppose I'm obviously watching this without commentary, so I can't hear the commentary, but that kind of just is part of the game, unfortunately. You know, it is what it is. But it basically is a home game for Armagh because they're you know, there doesn't look to be much Donegal fans there at all. I wonder how that has happened, to be honest, because I'd imagine, you know, the clubs of both counties would have gotten priority for these games. So whether Donegal fans passed up tickets, I'm not sure. It's a little bit of a strange one. Armagh very comfortable in possession. Just taking this thing out of the game now. 6-point lead will be massive to bring it to a 2-score game. And O'Neill, he's had a very good game, hasn't he? Taking on a lot of players. This is brilliant from O'Neill. Does he have the composure to put it over? He does. Absolutely brilliant from Mr. Rian O'Neill. And Armagh have 1 foot, maybe too early to have 1 foot in the quarterfinals, but they are in a very, very good position here now. They lead 2-10 to 10 points. Donegal, even with Sean Patton and McBrearty back on the field, just struggling a little bit here. You know, interesting. Donegal have kicked just 1 point since the 21st minute of the game. Donegal need to get into this game quickly. You know, Armagh have probably outscored Donegal, probably like 1-8 to a point maybe in the last sort of 15 to 20 minutes. You know, big spell here for Donegal. They're keeping possession. They're keeping it slow. They don't seem to be moving the ball as fast as they were in the early stages of the first half. McBrearty now on the ball. They'll need a big half from him. Being picked up by James Morgan. Donegal need to go for it here, really. They can't. They were doing this quite a lot against Derry, and you know they're not going to kick. They're not going to bring back a 6-point lead. They need to take one on here, and they've decided to float one in. Rafferty, he drops it, but the referee calls it a foul. Rafferty may be a little bit fortunate there. We'll have a look at the replay. It went over the bar in the end anyway, so there was no goal. Maybe he was pushed. It'd be interesting to see this. We didn't really see anything from that replay. But it comes to nothing in the end, and Armagh have possession. It'll probably be tough to see Donegal come back into it from here now. O'Neill has had a very, very good game for Armagh. They're venturing forward now. It's the cornerback getting forward, or it's O'Byrnes, I should say. But they lose possession. Donegal on it now. Armagh trying to stop the field of play. I think that was more of a tactical foul there, to be fair. They're trying to slow Donegal down every moment possible. McHugh goes long, but it's to absolutely nobody. Armagh, that is very needless there from Michael Murphy. That's very needless there. I mean, he called the mark and he just absolutely barges into him. He's surely going to get a yellow. You'd have to imagine that's pure frustration there from the Donegal captain. Very needless there, it must be said, from Mr. Michael Murphy. Definitely a lot of frustration built in. Hasn't seen much of the ball in the second half, and be curious to know if Donegal go out here. Does Murphy, he's still got years left in the tank, in my opinion, but I'll be curious to see, does he play the same role next year? I mean, calls the mark, he just barges right into him. I mean, it's very needless there from Murphy. Aaron McCoy there, the man getting fouled. I mean, you could argue that should have been a red card as well. I mean, like he'd called the mark. He clearly had his hands in the air. He dived straight into him. There was almost 2 tackles there. I think Michael Murphy could have been sent off there. I really do. Seamus Coleman shaking his head there. He's watching on. He's had he's quite used to, obviously. Armagh now at Rian O'Neill. Can Armagh take advantage and build a 7-point lead? They had a bit of space there, but the ball was fumbled. There was a chance there maybe to work a goal. And here goes Ryan McHugh. They need a score. They haven't scored in the second half yet. And that's short. Drop short. Donegal are struggling here. So yeah, 6-point game. Armagh taking the sting out of the game. They know they can control the game, and Donegal haven't scored in the second half. And they haven't moved the ball with the same intensity in the first half. They were moving it very quickly. It was very fast. They were getting in behind. They were causing Armagh problems. They were pushing up on the kick out. But in the second half, it's been a bit more like the Donegal we've been used to seeing this year. It's been very slow, lethargic. There hasn't been much intensity in passing, but Armagh do still have the ball. It looked like they lost it there for a minute. In possession now with Stephen Campbell. He gives it back. Donegal, a lot of men behind the ball. They need to push out, though, because Armagh, they're the ones with the 6-point lead. They don't need to rush anything here. They're going to need to push out. And Armagh very happy just to knock it around from side to side at the minute. Ethan Rafferty almost playing as a midfielder here. He has to be careful he doesn't lose possession. He's venturing forward. Is he going to go for goal? He still has the ball. Plays it comfortably there. Tell you what, although Rafferty is so high up the pitch, if I was an Armagh fan, I'd be a little bit nervous, because all it takes is one bad pass here and Donegal could be up the field. I mean, they do have plenty of players back, to be fair. Charlie O'Burns. Armagh just keeping possession. I mean, there's no rush really from them. I mean, it's very reminiscent of Armagh Derry. Stephen Campbell, that looks over. He looks over. It's a wonderful kick there from Stephen Campbell, and Armagh goes 7-2 to good. And it's going to be a very special comeback if Donegal can turn this one around. Stephen Campbell with the fist pump there. And Armagh are looking very good. Donegal have brought Jamie Brennan on. Kieran Thompson goes off. Donegal needs something here. They need to move the ball quicker. They need a goal. They probably need a few goals, and they need to start doing something, because they haven't scored in the second half, and they've kicked 1 point since the 21st minute. That isn't good enough. That's not going to win you a football game. Oh, and they're all over the place here in possession, but they get away with it. Patter Morgan was juggling with the ball, but he's got away with it. And Donegal need a score. They need something. Venturing forward, they need something here. Are they going to get a point? They aren't. Another wide. This time it's from the wing back. Owen Ban Gallagher, centre half back, puts it wide. And Donegal are in big trouble here. It is looking very much like Armagh. Rory says, I don't know if Donegal can come back with their general defensive style. It's going to be tough. They need to run at Armagh. They need to really take a risk now because, 7 points down, championship football, no backdoor. Like, this is now where it matters, and Declan Bonner has probably got his job on the line here, so they really need to go for it. Here's McBrearty. Gets away from Jason Duffy, I should say. Dufferty. I don't know what that was. He should have gone for it there, McBrearty. He doesn't go for it. I don't know why he didn't kick the score, and Donegal aren't backing themselves, and Armagh turn it over, but then Donegal give it. Oh, there's all sorts of chaos happening here. Both sides giving it away, but it looks like the ref has called a foul from McBrearty, and Armagh will have possession to kick down the other end. Yeah, I don't like McBrearty was on the ball there. It looked like he had a chance to kick over the bar. Oh, and Armagh are in a brilliant position here. Here's Aidan Nugent. Is he going to go for goal? He goes for the fist pass. It just didn't have the height. Big opportunity there for Armagh to put the game to bed. Maybe could have went for the point. I think he went for the right option and going for the goal. Armagh could have potentially put the game to bed there. They would have been 10 in front. Donegal now going down the other end with Murphy. Is that going to be a point for Donegal? It's dropping short. Rafferty needs to catch it, and he does. It's a brilliant catch from Rafferty. And Armagh have the ball. Lovely catch. Lovely catch there. Donegal still haven't scored in the second half. This has not been good enough. Jason Duffy now getting forward with the ball. Donegal trying to tackle. Looks like a foul. It is a foul. And Rian O'Neill will probably take his time over this one and have the chance to make it an 8-point game. And you would have to say at this moment in time that it is looking very unlikely that Donegal make the All-Ireland quarterfinals. And I think Armagh have really got one foot in the quarterfinals now. You've seen Aidan Nugent run through there. Right idea for the pass, and Rian O'Neill, it was just a bit too in front of him. He needed to play a little bit maybe behind, maybe O'Neill just didn't quite anticipate it enough, but Donegal get away with it there. Good bit of defensive play. Michael Langan's gone into the book with a yellow. You'd have to say Donegal just haven't recovered since that Sean Patton black card and penalty as well. O'Neill will stand over it. He'll take his time with it. He'll back himself to score. And it's over the bar. You can always tell by the crowd behind the goal when the flags are waving, and that is well and truly over the bar. And Armagh now 8 to the good. And this is looking like curtains unless Donegal can do something. They lose the kick out. Here they come again. Armagh have numbers forward here. They could potentially be in for a goal, but O'Neill is going to take the point, slots it over, 9 points. Rian O'Neill has had an absolute wonder game for this Armagh side. They're in the quarterfinals now, no doubt about it. There's 20 minutes to go, but I just don't see how Donegal are going to kick 9 points between now and the end of the game. They only create one goal chance in the entire game. Donegal needs something. Maybe they need to put Murphy in a full forward. Murphy throwing his legs up there. He needs to be careful. He's already on a yellow. Kept his legs in the air there. I mean, he was kicking out at the Armagh cornerback, and Maybe a little bit lucky he didn't make contact. He probably should have been a second yellow. But Murphy, the free's been moved closer in. So Murphy's going to put this one over. You'd imagine this will be Donegal's first point of the second half. And just their second point since the 21st minute. Murphy will surely score. And he does. 2-13 to 11 points. Back to an 8-point game. Donegal, it just looks over, really, doesn't it? It might just be 8 points, but the way Donegal have played and the way Armagh have defended, maybe they might get joy from the kick out. They don't get anything from that. But it is a line ball for Donegal. Murphy goes into Sean Patton. Donegal, they need a goal, really, but if they can keep the scoreboard ticking over for now, it might just give them a chance. They do need to start taking chances on, though. McBrearty, surely that's going to be a score. It is over the bar. Donegal have hit 2 without replies. Their first point from play as well in the second half. Nice score there from Jason McGee, I think it was. And Donegal, with 2 without reply, bring it back to a 7-score game. They win another kick out. Starting to get a bit of joy now, Donegal on the kick out, but is it too little too late? Still 17 minutes left to go. I mean, they got the next score. It's a 6-point game. Armagh just need to manage the game a little bit more here and create more options, I think, from those kickouts. But let's see if Donegal can work anything from this chance. They've gone for it. Off the post, drops short. Is anyone going to get there? Armagh going to get a score, or Donegal going to get a score out of it? They aren't. They lose possession. Now Armagh break down the other end, and Donegal, they're going to be vulnerable to that counter-attack, you feel. Andrew Murnan, did it go out over the end line? It looked like it went over the sideline to me, but the referee hasn't called it. And the ref has given a free the other way. I mean, it definitely didn't look like a free to me. A little bit of a shoulder, but you could probably argue the case that Murnan probably threw himself to the ground quite easily there. Conor Turbett going to enter the fray here for Armagh. It's going to be their first substitute of the game. You'd imagine Murnan is probably going to be the man to be replaced, or will he take someone else off? It's a big 15 minutes for Donegal. Donegal football, Declan Bonner. You know, I'm not sure if Bonner's there next year if they lose this game. I mean, I'm not too sure if he'll be there next year unless they made a semi-final. Rory says Donegal always seem to turn it on near injury time. You know, they really need to start turning it on now, because it might be too late by the time injury time comes around, but it would be an almighty comeback if they turned it around. They do have possession of the ball here at the minute. They are starting to push a lot more men forward, and they will be vulnerable from the counter attack. I don't know what's going on here. McBrearty, he makes something of it. He's running at Armagh. He's trying to make something happen. Works it inside. Are Armagh going to create a goal chance? They aren't. I don't know if that was an effort at a point or a goal, but it resulted in nothing at the end. Jason Duffy now. You've got all the Armagh forwards tracking back, trying to work the ball forward. It's a lovely challenge from Murphy. It's a brilliant tackle. Brilliant tackle there from Michael Murphy. And Donegal now looking to create something. They're definitely putting their foot on the gas. They're trying to make something of it. They need something in the game. Oh, lovely dummy from McBrearty. That'd be a lovely score if it goes over. But he puts it wide, I think. Yeah, he does. He puts it wide. You need them to go over. A lovely dummy solo here from McBurty originally. Sends Stephen Campbell on his holidays and then puts it wide. Conor Turbitt's come on for Armagh. Good impact sub. And it is Andrew Mernon who goes off. We've got about 13 minutes to go on this one. Lovely catch from the kick out. Charlie Oak-Burns, he's had a very good game, hasn't he? He's had a very good game for Armagh. Rian O'Neill again. He's just been a part of everything brilliant about Armagh today. Hand passes it in. Could Armagh be in for a goal? He doesn't know what to do, but he puts it in the back of the net, and that is surely game, set, and match. A lovely finish there. Lovely goal from Stephen Sheridan. Armagh 3-13, Donegal 12 points. Armagh go 10 in front of Donegal, and that is surely game over. Surely game over now. A wonderful finish from Stephen Sheridan. It looked like he was sort of caught in two minds. Do I go for the goal? I mean, it was wide open. You had to go for the goal. I mean, if you didn't go for the goal there, you'd wonder what is wrong. But a lovely finish there from Sheridan. And Armagh, 10 points to the good. And Donegal look as if they're going to exit the championship with a whimper. Patrick says 3 goals. Like I said, fair play. You called it, my man. You called it. They might even get another goal here, to be fair. You know, there's still time. And the problem is Donegal are going to have to push a lot of players forward to try and make something happen. And it's leaving space in behind. So, you know, you could envisage another goal for Armagh. You really could. And here they go, venturing forward. Donegal trying to make something happen. They win the foul. Will they take the point? Will they go for the goal? I think they need to go for a goal here. I know there's 12 minutes left plus injury time, but, you know, they need to, you know, points are no good at this stage. My TV keeps freezing. I have no idea why that's happening. Murphy's going to take the point. 9 points in the game. Murphy's a 6th point of the game, I think. You know, Donegal, realistically, they just haven't been good enough. I mean, we were saying they kicked 9 points inside 20 minutes, but they've kicked 4 just after that. I mean, it's not good enough, really, but they need something. And they're in possession here with Peadar Mogan. He's going to kick long. They're going to go for the goal, but it's to absolutely nobody. And Armagh will take those. They'll take that all day long. And Armagh are just going to try slow the game down now. Donegal are squeezing very high up the pitch now. They need to try and turn it over, but Armagh are just passing it around them. And the worry for Donegal is that they, you know, get caught out again and maybe concede another goal. But here's Stephen Campbell. Conor Turbitt, who's come on. Is he going to back himself for the point? He is. And it looks over the bar. And it is. Lovely score from Conor Turbitt. Armagh 3-14. Donegal 13 points. I mean, it's game, set, and match. There's no way Donegal are coming back now. No way they're surely coming back. Lovely points from Conor Turbitt. And Donegal now, you know, they need a miracle. They need a miracle to come back here. And it's just, you know, realistically, the chances of a miracle probably aren't going to happen. James says you don't want Armagh in that draw. Yeah, it's probably the, you know, out of all the, as a Dublin fan, I mean, you know, I think Mayo are the strongest team in the draw. Still, I know they've looked quite poor this year, but I still think, you know, as a Dublin fan, you know, Mayo are the type of team that have proved they can beat us and have proved they can beat us in the championship. They did so last year. But I do think Armagh would be very dangerous as well. Like, I think they're the team I actually don't want, because, I want us to get Mayo, because I think it would be a great game of football, and I also want revenge from last year. But Kerry Armagh, I think, would be a very good game. That would be a very good game. Conor Turbo, Armagh just slowing the game down now. There's no rush. Donegal with almost everyone back. Marching forward now with the ball. Armagh very comfortable in possession. There's no rush here, really, is there? And now it's Ethan Rafferty. Donegal look beaten. They look well and truly beaten. Kevin says, come on, Armagh. And Armagh, well and truly, really, it's a 4-score game at the minute, like 10 points. Armagh, they might even be able to add to it here with Aidan Nugent. Athletically and physically as well, they've just looked very at the races, Armagh. Like, it looks like they haven't tired at all, and they're going to keep possession. I'd imagine the Armagh fans, are probably cheering every pass here at the minute, because it's very hard for Donegal to get anything, and O'Neill's been a part of everything into Rory Grugan. Grugan is going to go for it, and he didn't look like it. He wasn't shaping up for a shot, but he does. Puts it over the bar. 11 points between the teams. Donegal are going out with a whimper. Armagh are absolutely cruising. $11 points between the teams. And it's it's a long, long way back now for Donegal, isn't it? Armagh deserved the win in the second half, yeah, without question. Donegal have been nowhere near good enough. Just 3 points in the second half. To think they kicked 9 points inside the opening 20 minutes, and they've kicked 4 since then. It's just nowhere near good enough. Haven't created the chances, and they've been poor at the back. They've left themselves wide open on numerous occasions, and it just hasn't been good enough for Donegal. And I think you'd have to imagine there will be a change in management. Padder Mogan, he's going to go for a point. I think Armagh could have let that go. I think that was going wide. Rian O'Neill wasn't to know there. Donegal still have possession. Mogan was going for the point. It wasn't even going over the bar. It was going wide. 5 minutes left to go. Armagh en route to their first All-Ireland quarter-final since 2017. But it's fair to say this Armagh team are a much different team to that one. Some of the same players are still out there, but they've definitely evolved. And you remember in that quarter-final, they got demolished by Tyrone. It's not going to happen again. Sean Patton was off his goal there. Rian O'Neill nearly caught it, and Armagh could have been in for another goal. $11 points in it going down the home stretch. It was Conor Turbo actually who nearly caught that ball, and if he had caught it, he'd one man in front of him and the goalkeeper. He could have just easily lobbed the keeper. Armagh fans on their feet to applaud Mr. Aidan Nugent leaving the field of play. He's had a cracking game. The whole starting 15 for Armagh have been brilliant. They had a dodgy period when they lost or when they conceded what I think was 7 or 8 points without reply. Donegal going long. Rafferty catches it. Rian O'Neill runs away with it. Donegal trying everything to come back into the game. Just isn't looking likely. Murphy trying to track back, but he isn't getting anywhere near. Now it's Jason Duffy. And Armagh just comfortable now just to hold possession, really, and they're in no rush. They brought Shields on as well, I think. Armagh, 11 points to the good. I mean, this is it. This is game over, really. There's no way back for Donegal. I definitely didn't think it would be as comprehensive as this for Armagh. You know, they have been in spots of bother, to be fair, but it's been really poor, hasn't it? Jamar Hall's come on here as well. I'm not too sure what the referee is. Was it a throw ball maybe there from Eaton Rafferty? Going into the final couple of minutes. There probably won't be too much injury time as well, like maybe 2-3 minutes, and that'll be it. They've launched it into Murphy. Nothing doing. And Armagh very comfortably able to work the ball out. And unfortunately for Michael Murphy and Donegal, it's the race has been ran for 2022. And it will be Armagh joining them in the quarterfinals. Make no mistake about it. Rian O'Neill dispossessed. Pater Mogan. Can Donegal get something on the board just to make the scoreline a little bit more respectable? You know, it doesn't feel like it's been an 11-point game, but you know, Armagh have just been by far the better side, really. They've launched it in there. Rafferty again. I mean, the long ball isn't working out. They kick a point over the bar there from Shane O'Donnell. Back down to 10 points, but too little too late in terms of point scoring. Armagh 3-15, Donegal 14. So Armagh looking good. They're able to empty the bench now as well. The amount of confidence this will give Armagh as well, like having beaten Tyrone, having beaten Donegal. You know, Armagh Derry in a quarterfinal would be an intriguing one as well. You know, considering both of them have beaten Donegal and Tyrone. Like in many ways, you'd nearly look at that one as the Ulster final. You know, that would be an intriguing game. Lovely bit of play there from Armagh. They're in no rush. They're very calm in possession here. Shields plays it into Jarly O'Burns. He's had a cracking game and he puts it over the bar. Not a bother for Jarly O'Burns. He's delighted. Armagh are delighted. They're going to a quarterfinal. They've kicked 3-16 in this game. We're going into the final. We're going into injury time now, and the Orkshire County have delivered. I mean, for Armagh fans, you must be absolutely buzzing because, you know, it looked like a long road back after being beaten by Donegal in 20 or this year. You know, and Armagh about to get their first championship win over Donegal since 2010. But Donegal might have something here. Maybe a goal or points. They're going for points at this stage, Donegal, because they know that the game is well and truly done. 3-16 to 15 points. Cheers, anyone who's tuned into the stream. By the way, there will be a match reaction out in about 20 minutes time after the game. So if you could hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, that would be great. Plenty of streams similar to this one, and undoubtedly we'll be doing a couple of streams for the quarterfinals as well, because that's going to be exciting. But here come Armagh. They might be in for a fourth goal. They take the point. Lovely score from Conor Turbitt. He's kicked 2 points now since coming off the bench. And they lead 3-17 to 15 points. Rory says, you think Bonner's race is run now? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's game over for Declan Bonner as Donegal manager. They'd be mad to keep him on. Like they've got to make the change. I think Stephen Rochford would be a great appointment. He knows the team. They play a much better attacking brand of football. Like their game would evolve under him, I think. He knows the lads as well, part of the team already. Would Donegal want to go with someone who's already been part of the backroom team? I don't know. But Rochford would be, for me, the candidate. I doubt Jim McGuinness would come back. He seems very heavily involved with Derry City at the minute, so I don't think he'll be. He has a good gig on Sky as well, so I don't think Jim McGuinness would be coming back. I don't really know who else you go for, so I think Rochford would surely be the option. Del Boy Gunner TV says Bonner is done as well. Yeah, 100%, 110%. How Donegal could let that slip from their grip in that manner, says Sir Klopp. Yeah, I mean, they were cruising. Like, they were 4 points up, 9 points to 1-2. They hit, I think, 7 points without reply. They were cruising. Ethan Rafferty, he's taking the piss here at the minute now. Kind of reminds me when you're 6-7 goals up against your mates on FIFA and you start dribbling the pitch. Gets brought down. So you'd imagine O'Neill, I don't know will he go for this one? He might go for this one. Sir Klopp says Rochford could be on to Roscommon. I mean, that would be an intriguing one. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Rochford is a Galway man, isn't he? I think he's from Galway, so I might be wrong on that. Imagine he ended up managing Roscommon and then eventually, I think he is a Mayo man, actually, isn't he? But yeah, I mean, him to Roscommon would be an interesting one. I think that's an appointment that Roscommon fans would be behind. I mean, I've been surprised that other counties haven't gone in for him. I know he's been involved with Bonner's Donegal side, but I was surprised counties didn't go in for him last year, like Cork or something like that. I think he would have been a brilliant addition. Donegal looking to kick that one. It's a nice point. It'll be Donegal's last act of the championship. And Armagh 317, Donegal 16 points. You'd imagine the referee will blow the whistle anytime soon. Kieran Donaghy and Kieran McGeaney must be absolutely delighted. Rian O'Neill fist pumps the air in delight because Armagh have sent Donegal packing. Their first championship win over Donegal since 2010. Their first quarterfinal appearance is 2017 as well. A huge result for McGeaney. A huge result for Armagh. They have well and truly delivered. Armagh have finally arrived. They've been a team that's been knocking on the door for, Jesus, God knows how long. And finally, they have delivered. They've turned up. 2 big wins back-to-back against Tyrone and Donegal. They go into the All-Ireland quarterfinals. And, it's going to be interesting. Every provincial finalist lost in the qualifiers. First time that's happened since 2010. I think the second time only that's ever happened. And yeah, you'd have to imagine that Armagh are going to be feared. I mean, look, as a Dublin man, they're the team I do not want to play. They're the team that I fear the most personally because, I think Donegal or I think Armagh could cause Dublin a lot of problems. I really, really do. Rory says who won between Cork and Limerick. It was Cork who won that one. Rory says that goalkeeper decision in 2016 replay might scare counties off him. I mean, I doubt it. To be honest. I mean, he's still a quality manager. I mean, I still think Horan's the better. I think Rochford is the better tactically the better manager, but I think Horan has done a better job in the grand scheme of things. Like he's won a league title, he's won Connacht titles. Got to Mayo to multiple All-Ireland finals as well. But Rochford did come closer. He had Mayo very, very close to that promised land. They were very, very close. So So yeah, I still think teams will be in for them. But yeah, look, cheers anyone who tuned into the live stream. There will be a match reaction out in about 15 minutes or so. So stay tuned for that one. Plenty to discuss, most definitely. So if you enjoyed this content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Cheers anyone who tuned in, and yeah, there will be plenty more videos to come soon. So yeah, cheers anyone tuned in, and I'll see you all later.